Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone. It's another edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here on Pittsburgh CW. Bob Pompiani, Gene Collier with you tonight at 412-575-2600. That is the number of the Bordas & Bordas hotline. And the Penguins have succeeded in pretty much taking the life completely away from the Philadelphia Flyers, who, if you had to watch the last two games in their barn, as they say, you would support when it comes to their hockey season. Quite frankly, going into this series, I thought the keys were, number one, goaltending, and that's been true to form. The Flyers have not gotten any kind of consistent goaltending. Brian Elliott was yanked tonight. Matt Murray has been splendid, as he's been for the last two playoff runs. And now 6 shutouts in his career in the postseason, which is right up there with some of the elite players in the game before the age of 24. And the elite players on this team have done it much better than the Philadelphia elite players, specifically Claude Giroux, who has no goals and is a -7 in the series. Gene Collier, outstanding columnist from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I don't know how else to look at this other than I would be surprised now if it goes back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, I would be too. You do have to win 4, but the Flyers look like such a mess right now, Bob. I mean, it's not just that Couturier is not available to them, but they really look like a disjointed team, and in a way they are. You know, they have a core of veteran forwards, and then they have a lot of young players who are going to be good but are still learning how to play. What they don't have are role players, people like Riley Sheahan and, you know, before they left, players like Nick Bonino, those kind of players who know how to win. The Flyers just don't have that. And as you mentioned, they don't have any goaltending either, which is a tough way to play hockey. I'm never surprised by anything that happens in the NHL playoffs, but they really look bad. They do. They
do. And, you know, give the Penguins all the credit in the world for that. They came out, they got a power play goal right off the bat, even without Patrick Hornquist, a beautiful backhand pass from Crosby right to Malkin. And then following that up, they get another one to make it a 2-0 game. And at that point, you're saying to yourself, well, the Flyers don't get something quick. Well, they had a chance because that was Travis Konecny out of the penalty box. And that's what you say about Matt Murray, Gene. It's always about when he makes his big saves. It's not so many in number, but it's when you make them. And he makes them at times that I think the Penguins really need it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the timely saves is always more welcome than the spectacular save, or unless it happens to be timely, obviously. But Matt Murray's just, he is a historic 25 playoff wins in his first 36 games. No one's done it. I don't know what else to say, but no one's done it.
No one's done it, and he's on pace now, 3 years, to have 3 cups. I don't know if anyone's done that in their first 3 years before the age of 24. And this is what we're talking about. It hits historic stuff. And tonight, speaking of history, with Sidney Crosby passing the man who owns the team, Mario Lemieux, for most playoff points. He's done it in more games. Mario, of course, did it in fewer games, but still, Sidney Crosby is what this team is all about. It's a business-like approach. When you watch him come out, Gene, you look at his face, and it's like a game face. He doesn't let anything bother him. Regardless of what, and I think he thrives in Philadelphia, of course, where he hears a chorus of boo flat for Crosby, you know what, and he just responds.
Yeah, I mean, nothing ever really upsets him often at all. And again, he's just a tremendously skilled player in reading the game, being in the right spot, you know, makes very few mistakes. And it's just a gift the Penguins have, you know, every day that he's on the team.
And really a killer goal for the Flyers was after the Malkin goal. They had the better of the play. They were actually skating all over the Penguins in the attack zone, but they could not find a goal. And, you know, while they dominated and had 6 consecutive shots on goal in a span of about 1:40, all of a sudden there's one bad pass to the middle of the ice surface. It springs Kessel to Malkin, back to Kessel, and one shot is all it took, Gene. And I think that, more than anything, was the defining moment of this game.
Yeah, that really was a killer for the Flyers. And not only that, now it kind of unleashes Kessel, who had not scored in the series. Now he has. He looked to be, to me, to be more eager to shoot tonight, and that's not going to be a good thing for Philadelphia either.
First team that qualified for the next round is the Vegas Golden Knights, and they win in 4 straight games over the Kings. Marc-Andre Fleury with a .977 save percentage. microscopic goals against, just 3 goals in 4 games. It's amazing what they're doing out there. And Gene, at the beginning of the season, they were 501 shots. And here they are. Someone made that bet. At this point, you're sitting there thinking, I'm going to watch every game and just keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think even last week I said pretty confidently they wouldn't get out of this series. So there you go.
Well, we have a lot to talk about. In addition to hockey, we'll also talk about the Pirates, who are winners today. And it seems like when the Pirates score, they score a lot in bunches, and they did again today. 10-2 winners over Colorado. We'll talk about that. We'll get into NFL draft stuff. It's about a week away. Next Thursday night, it'll be the first round, so we have plenty to talk about, and we'd love to do it with you at 412-575-2600. That is the number of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Back right after this.